Good morning. We're live. It's Friday, May 15th, and we are here this morning to practice vinyasa for 60 minutes. Going to work on some dancing warriors today and also our splits. I am checking the screen here to make sure everything's lined up, and it looks like we're good to go. Okay. Happy Friday. It is time for some red pants yoga, vinyasa. Just come to the middle of your mat and bring your feet together in a comfortable standing position. As usual, I have to wipe some sand off my feet in the mat from dogs that have been at the beach. Just stand here, take some deep breaths. Take in everything that just happened before for you to be able to get here and arrive on your mat, and recognize that you've got plenty coming for the rest of the day, but we're just gonna be here now for the next 50 minutes or so. So stand comfortably, roll your shoulders back a few times, maybe roll them forward. Feel any tightness you may have in the shoulders. Kind of swing the arms back and forth a bit, side to side. Now just kind of walk out the legs a bit. Just kind of gentle, slow walk in place. Bring the knees up. I'm gonna bring them out a few times, working on isolating the hip flexors here. Just kind of checking in. So just make these movements wherever you need to, and we'll bring ourselves back into a standing position and find some stillness. So we've gotten some wiggles out, checked in on some spots that might be kind of tight or tense. And now just stand comfortably, close your eyes, and we're going to take some deep breaths, just really noticing our breathing, noticing when we inhale here through the nose. Nice and deep breath, and exhale through the mouth. And just notice the entire inhale here that you're inhaling and how that feels to bring the breath into the body. And then notice here when you exhale, how it feels to let that air go. Let's do one more here, eyes closed. Inhale. Feel that inhale, lengthen the spine and lift the chest, and then exhale. Feel as things sort of collapse in, let it go, and tend to kind of ground down. Let's blink the eyes open and continue that mindful breathing, but we're going to seal the lips now so that with the exhale, we've got closed mouth exhales going. This is Ujjayi breath. The breath stays behind the lips because they're closed. So inhale through the nose. And now exhale through the nose. Lips stay sealed this whole time. And if you can open the throat, continue your inhales and exhales and open the throat as that breath moves in and out so that you make a sort of Darth Vader sound. Ujjayi breathing here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Let's bring the hands and arms into this. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms to your side. Inhale, arms overhead. Remember, inhales, we lift and lengthen, and energy radiates towards the top. Exhale, everything kind of collapses back in on itself. Energy goes down to the ground and grounds down. Inhale, arms up. And just notice what the breath does as you move your body along with it. Now let's add a twist. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist gently to the right. Arms to the side. Come, bring them down. Inhale, arms up. Now we're going to twist to the left, bring the arms down. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist. Okay, inhale, arms up overhead, face the front. Now we're going to add a fold. So exhale, fold, hinge at the hips. First forward fold, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, come down slowly. Let your hands rest on the floor, or if you have your blocks, set them to either side of you. Rest the hands on the blocks or the floor. First forward fold, and we're going to hold it for a bit. So get comfortable by bending the knees, rest the belly on the knees, let the head and neck hang, shake out your head, no, nod it, yes. I encourage you to do that, to let it really relax. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, even upside down, and now in this fold, straighten one leg at a time so that you're kind of walking out your legs here and get a sense of maybe which side is tighter than the other. Feel what's going on in those hamstrings and the ankles. As you bend the knees, the ankles bend, have a crease in them, the hips are creased. Take stock of all of that. On your next inhale, come halfway up. So if you've got blocks, just prop yourself higher on the blocks. If you don't, you can rest your hands on your shins or even up this high on your thighs, but find a comfortable position, halfway lift. And again, pedal out the legs by bending one knee than the other. And really exaggerate the hip movement side to side as you bend the knees here. And on an exhale, we'll deepen that fold. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Let's do it one more time, a little faster now. Exhale, swan dive all the way down, forward fold. You can bend at the knees, let the head and neck hang. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, bring them down through heart center. This is Anjali Mudra. Hands at heart center is Anjali Mudra. A mudra is a hand gesture. And Anjali is this prayer position at heart center, okay? So we're going to add a little more onto that for moving into sun salutations. I'm going to, let's see, I'll move to the side view here for sun salutations. So again, have your blocks at either side if you want to use blocks. If not, join me here. We'll begin in Anjali Mudra, and take note when you stand at the top of your mat, just give yourself a little back and forth movement here. Shift your body so that you bring your weight forward on the toes and then shift back so that your weight's back on the heels. Maybe lift the toes when you're on your heels. Give them a wiggle. We really want to eventually find ourselves with weight back over the heels. Feel the balls of your feet on the mat as well by lifting the toes. But your weight is on the heels and just a bit on the balls of the feet. Pull your belly in, lift the chest. Begin in Anjali Mudra, and we will inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right leg back to a low lunge. So we're going to hold this lunge a bit. I'm going to grab my blocks once more because I'm feeling like I need a little extra help finding that lift this morning. So low lunge. We are holding this low lunge for a bit. If it helps to have the blocks, grab them because you'd like to have your chest lifted here. Chest is lifted, shoulders roll back away from the ears, and some gravity helps open that front right hip flexor. Engage the right glutes right here to help that opening on the front side. And really check in with your toes, rock back and forth over your toes a bit. You want to feel like some energy is radiating out of that heel. Breathe here. Take one more deep inhale. Deep exhale. And then bring that right foot back forward, back into a halfway lift. And we'll move into a low lunge on the other side. So step left leg back this time. Left leg is back. I'm still using these blocks to help keep my chest lifted. I want my right knee stacked over the right ankle. And again, we're going to hold here for a bit. Feel this opening. Rock back and forth a bit on those toes behind you. Bring the heel back and forth. And remember to engage the left glute. That'll help open the front side and let gravity just bring that front side of the left hip down towards the mat. Let's take another deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And bring the left leg back forward. Halfway lift. We're going to exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands all the way to overhead and bring them down into Anjali Mudra. So building on from there, we're going to keep going. We're kind of just building a sun salutation, one movement at a time. Hands are in Anjali Mudra. Your weight stacked over your heels. I wiggle my toes to make sure this is true. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. And we are in plank here. So hold your plank for a moment. And just like we did in that low lunge, go ahead and rock over your heels a few times. Back and forth, back and forth. Pull your belly in plank. Notice that your shoulders are over your wrist when you're in the plank. And then as you move forward and shift forward on your toes, your shoulders go past your wrist. So just notice that, because when we move on to Chaturanga Dandasana, which is a low plank, lowering down to low plank, we're going to shift forward first and then bend at the elbows, keep them along your ribs and lower down and then all the way down. Rest your belly on the mat, untuck your toes. And now bring your elbows onto the mat, arms parallel. This is Sphinx pose. So just hold here. Your chest is lifted off the mat. Your weight is on your elbows in the upper body and across the forearms. Legs are zipped up like a tail, like one cobra tail with legs zipped up from the ankles up to the upper thighs. Just breathe here in Sphinx. Now we're going to inhale here, lift on the inhale, and just lower down a little on the exhale. Touch the nose or forehead to the mat, and inhale it back up. We're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale, lower down, touch nose or forehead on the mat. Inhale, back up. 1 more time. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back up. So stay here in Sphinx, or if you want to join me for an up dog, spread the fingers wide apart, bring them back down towards your ribs, pull the elbows in together, and then on an inhale, bring the upper body through the arms, lift the chest, try to keep those shoulders relaxed away from the ears, and finally bring those thighs off the mat. So your thighs are off the mat, hips are off the mat. We're lifted here, upward facing dog. Hold here. Let's take a breath. And then shoot back into child's pose. So come down onto your knees, send the hips all the way back, child's pose here. And this is going to be an active child's pose. So keep those fingers spread, palms down on the mat. Let your forehead come down to the mat. But palms press in so that you're really opening at the armpits. Forearms are lifted off the mat. Armpits are opening. Feel that stretch and opening here, and then inhale back up on hands and knees. Let's do a few cat-cows before we shoot into our first down dog. So we're on hands and knees here or tabletop. You're gonna inhale, drop the belly, let it go soft, inhale and look up so that you've got a big arch in that lower back. Stick hips out, stick butt out, and upper body up. Arch in the lower back, and on an exhale, we round the back, opposite direction for the spine. So pull in the belly button, round the back like a Halloween cat, and in this rounding, shake your head out again to really make sure that neck is relaxed here. And now just go at your own pace. So remember, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back, pull the belly in. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, opposite movement. The belly comes in, we round. So take those at your own pace, or if you can add on to that, if you want to add on, if it feels good, let's do a few hip circles. I'm bringing my hips out to the right, along the heels, bring them back around. I'm on my third hip circle going to the right. Now I'm going to reverse it. Hip circles going to the left. What do you notice? I'm noticing my hips are tight today and that this feels quite good. Loosen them up. And we'll return to all fours and prepare for that first down dog. So with fingers spread, palms pushing into the mat as always, shoulders stacked over the wrist, flip the toes. And begin by hovering the knees off the mat just a bit. My knees are still super bent, like that tabletop position, but now I've pulled them up off the mat. I'm going to shoot the hips towards the ceiling with knees deeply bent, palms pressing into the mat still, knees bent, opening at the armpits. And when I've got my hips as high as I can get them towards the ceiling with knees this bent and heels lifted, in fact, I'm exaggerating the lift, coming high up on my toes. Then I drop the heels towards the ground. Let gravity pull those heels down, which begins to straighten the legs, and then pedal out the dog. Walk it out. Walk your dog. Bend one knee at a time. If you want to really exaggerate with the hip movements as it shifts from side to side, as you pedal it out, go ahead. Take some deep breaths here. Press those palms into the mat like you're pushing yourself off the mat. Pull the belly in. Let those heels drop. And let's just find a good, comfortable down dog that you are no longer making a lot of shifting movements in. And hold it for one really long, meaningful breath, just still in your down dog. Inhale here. And exhale, push those hips higher towards the ceiling. Inhale, shift forward on your toes a few inches, and on an exhale, walk your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. So that was a very slow sun salutation, building it piece by piece. We're going to do two more, a little faster with the breath. You'll hear me say breath and then the posture that we're getting into. So by the breath cue, I mean inhale or exhale, and the posture we're going to move to. So we're going to go using our breath to pace us. Let's begin Anjali Mudra. In Tadasana, standing posture, wiggle those toes a bit to make sure your weight's over your heels. And just take a moment here to squeeze the shoulders up to the ears and then roll them back down. Shoulder blades slide down your back, belly is pulled in, and we'll begin. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, spine is straight. Exhale, plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, shift the weight forward a few inches, lower down into low limb, forelimb plank, and then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, shoot it back into down dog. We're gonna hold here for 2 breaths. Breathe here. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Moving right into the next one. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step left foot back, right foot back, hold plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, shift forward 2 inches, bend at the elbows, lower down, and inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, shoot the hips back, down dog. Breathe here, 2 nice long deep breaths. Inhale, shift forward on your wrist. Exhale, walk the legs forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. All right, that was an awesome round of sun salutations. This is a great spot to take a drink before we build on. Good morning. I see Carmen and Erin are on, along with a few more people. Happy Friday. Erin, we're moving on to do a series called Dancing Warrior, and I thought of you, of course, when I thought we'd try this morning. So I think you're going to enjoy this next round that we build on to sun salutations. I'm excited. Okay. Took my drink, caught my breath a bit. It was really great to heat up a bit using sun salutations. Sorry. Okay. So let's come back to the top of the mat. We're going to build on to the sun salutations we just did. That was in Sanskrit, that's Surya Namaskar A, sun salutations A, or number 1. We're going to add on with B here. B adds in a chair posture and then a warrior 1. So we're going to add on with B and just do a few light rounds of that. That really helps. Warrior 1, I find, helps stabilize the hips because it keeps those hips square in a warrior position before we open up into Dancing Warrior, which is kind of going to be our peak sequence for the morning. That's really going to open our hips. So let's start with hip stabilization using Warrior 1 as our guide because we'll keep hips square. So we'll begin in Tadasana, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms overhead and sit back in a chair. So you'll remember our chair that we normally do on Monday and Wednesdays with arms out and the booty really far back. For this vinyasa chair, arms are going to be lifted, which lifts us a little higher, and the butt doesn't go so far back. In fact, instead of really pushing the hips back here, I'm going to try to bend more deeply right at the heels or the ankles so that I can feel a stretch in my Achilles on the ankles. Chest is lifted, arms high, belly in. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step left foot back, right foot back. Hold plank here. On the exhale, shift forward. Chaturanga Dandasana means lower down and inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here. Inhale. Exhale, really let those heels drop down. And now inhale, right leg up. This is three-legged dog. Hips stay square to the mat. Go ahead and lower the toes a bit. Just touch them down to the mat and then inhale, back up, three-legged dog. And then on an exhale, step it through. We're in a low lunge, right foot forward. Drop the back heel. Hips stay square. Inhale, warrior one. So hips are square here, arms overhead. If this is still a little challenging, because I think warrior one is quite challenging, you can lower the arms and turn that foot so that the heel is lifted and you're simply in a high lunge here. So you could go from low lunge to high lunge, and then finally just dropping the back heel, raising the arms takes you into warrior one. So whether you want to be in high lunge or warrior one here, we're really starting to fire up that front right leg. Knee is stacked over ankle, really turning on. Let's take a nice breath here. One deep inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And on an exhale, bring the arms down and the leg back to three-legged dog. Drop those toes. We're in down dog here. Take a rounded breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left leg up. Three-legged dog on the left side. Hips stay square. Don't open them. Let that toe touch down on the floor. Inhale it back up. And on an exhale, step left leg through. So we are in low lunge. You can rise on up to high lunge or drop the back heel. Inhale, arms overhead for warrior one. So stay in high lunge if you're not ready quite yet to move into warrior one this morning. Otherwise, we'll hold warrior one here. We want to fire up that front left leg. Nice and strong. Let's take a nice deep breath here. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And on the exhale, drop the arms down, low lunge, send the left leg back, three-legged dog, and finally drop it down for your down dog. Breathe here. And inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, walk your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, let's try this dancing warrior. So I'm going to turn around and face the other side. Because of the way I'm going to open up, I'll be facing the front here if I begin here on the other side. So we're going to begin with dancing warrior. All of our warriors are going to have the right foot forward. I'm trying to figure out if that means you need to turn to the other side to face the same direction, just see me in the computer. And I think you probably do. So come to the, I'm thinking this through. Come to the other side of the mat that we were just on, just like me, face the other direction, and by the time we end up in our warriors, we'll be facing each other on the computer. So we're standing in Tadasana here. Remember in Tadasana to shift that weight a bit and end up ultimately landing with your weight over your heels, and give your toes a wiggle if you need to check that. Roll the shoulders up, one cog on the spoke, up and back so that shoulders blade slide down your back. Give a check that your belly's pulled in and that didn't cause you to arch your back. Hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step left foot back, right foot back. Hold plank here for one inhale. Bring those hips up high. Exhale, shoot over your wrist about 2 inches, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. So here's a way to notice the control over whether or not your hips are square. Hips are square currently, facing the mat, and then open the hips and let that leg lift higher with the hips open. You can bend at the knee and look at the toes under your left armpit if you want. But this is a difference between hips being open in three-legged dog versus coming back around. You can't get your leg quite as high when they're square. So just do that maybe 2 times. Square your hips and then open the hips so that you can get a sense for the control that it takes for you to decide when and if you want your hips to open. Bring that leg through. Low lunge here. Right leg is forward. And then cartwheel, open your arms into warrior 2. So I went from a low lunge to opening up at the arms, dropping my back left heel, toes face forward, warrior 2. My upper body is square over my hips. It's stacked straight over my hips. My hips open up at the right side, and I've got a lot of strong energy, straight line radiating down on the left. So hold this warrior 2 for a moment. Check that the heel of your right foot is perhaps going to intersect through the arch of your left if you were to draw a straight line from your heel through the arch of your left foot. Let's inhale here, straighten the front leg, bring the arms up. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, arms up, legs straight. Exhale, lower it down. One more time. Inhale, legs straight, arms up. Exhale, lower it down. So this is the beginning of Dancing Warrior. We come into Warrior 2. We're going to move into Reverse Warrior by dropping the back hand down the straight leg. Inhale, right arm up, right leg stays bent, right knee bent, right arm up, and just look up at the ceiling as that left arm travels down your leg, or you can bend at the elbow and wrap it around your back. Whichever way is more comfortable. This is Reverse Warrior. And then we move into extended side angle by coming around, keeping that leg bent, and that front arm that was overhead comes down parallel with the calf. And then finally your arm goes overhead and you look at the ceiling this way. So this is extended side angle. It is not unlike the Bikram triangle, you'll notice. In the Bikram triangle, this leg is bent, our arm is parallel, and the only difference is in Bikram, our hand is straight up. This extended side angle, this arm on top of your head makes a straight line from your wrist all the way down to that straight foot. This is extended side angle. And then we'll inhale back into Reverse Warrior. And finally, down into Warrior 2. So that is our sequence for Dancing Warrior. Let's inhale, straighten things out. That right leg should be burning at this point. Exhale, cartwheel the arms down, send the leg back. Shift forward 2 inches over your wrist, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Exhale. Inhale, walk the legs forward into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Okay, Let's practice that dancing warrior sequence now on the other side. So we're gonna turn back, face the other way. This time left leg is gonna be our front leg. And I know that if you're just learning dancing warrior for the first time, I get that was a lot. I will guide you through it. We'll go through it slowly on the left side as well. And then we'll go through, say, 2 rounds if we have time. Let me make sure we'll have time. Yeah, we have time. We'll go through it maybe 2 rounds on each side slowly, and then maybe the last slowly in the middle, and then on the last round, we could speed it up just a bit so you can get the feel of that flow between postures. Okay, so let's practice that sequence on the other side now. Standing in Tadasana, hands in Anjali Mudra. Do your little bodily checks that you're over your heels. You're stacked over your heels with your weight. Your belly is pulled in. Your shoulders are away from your ears with shoulder blades sliding down the back. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot back, left foot back into plank. Inhale once in plank. Exhale, shift the weight forward a few inches, lower down halfway, elbows stay by your ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 1 round of breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale, left leg up. Left leg up into 3-legged dog. So we're gonna do that check with hip stability on this side as well. Hips are square to the mat, and you can't lift your leg quite as high if you keep them square. And then when you open them, you can really lift it, and in fact, bend at the knee if you want, and look at those toes under your right armpit. And then just go back and forth 2 or 3 times between rotating hips square with control and opening back up. I'm going to do it one more time. Hips are square, left leg lifted, and then open and stretch on the side body. Okay, now bring that left leg through into a low lunge. Left leg is forward. And then as we did on the other side, cartwheel the arms open. Right leg is straight and strong with the side of the foot parallel to the back of the mat. Left leg is bent with knee stacked over ankle, and finally your hands out to a T on either side of you. So hold here. Let's really turn on and fire up this leg. Make it work. Feel it. Feel a little burn. Breathe here. And let's straighten the leg, lift the arms. Inhaling, exhale, bend at the knee, drop the arms. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, lower down, ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We've got one more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Okay, so from warrior 2, we move into reverse warrior. Begin by dropping the back hand down that straight leg. Keep the knee bent as you lift your left arm overhead. Look up at the ceiling and let this back arm slide down the leg or wrap it behind your back. Either way, breathe here. This is reverse warrior. We move into side angle lunge. Keep the knee bent in front. Swing yourself, your arms over so that your left arm is along your calf. Right arm is lifted. This looks like a Bikram triangle, and we just take that right arm and bring it to the side of your head so that it's one straight line from the top lifted arm down the straight foot, the straight leg. Side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. The knee stays bent this whole time, right? And then bring it to warrior 2. Okay, cartwheel the arms. Shoot yourself back into downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale, bring yourself forward a few inches. Exhale, walk the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower down, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Okay, so that was our Dancing Warrior sequence. That was just learning each pose. We're gonna put it all together now, matching with breath and linking the movements together a little more fluidly. Stop and take a drink here if you need to. I know that I do. Taking a drink, and I'm also gonna open the door next to me to let some air in. I would love to make a joke about air coming in for Aaron, but that feels very typical of a cheesy aunt joke. Okay, let's do it again. So I'm gonna interrupt normally, and I think for the last round, we're not gonna interrupt the two sides by moving through one side right into the other. But for this round, while we're still learning, while you guys are still learning the sequence, I'm gonna interrupt between doing the right side by stopping and switching so that I start the left on the top of the mat on the other side so that we still face one another through the computer screen. I think that will be best while we're still learning this side. Okay. So let's come to the top of the mat here. I am facing, I don't even know how to say this. If I'm looking at the camera, I'm facing the right side of the room right now. We're gonna have the right leg is gonna be in front. So again, we'll go through this one a little more fast, a little quicker than we did the last round, but still kind of slow to get a feel for it. And then same on the left side, and then we'll put it all together for that last round. Okay, so begin every posture in Tadasana and take a breath here to just kind of let go of where we just were, anything we were just chatting about, and like let it go. Start everything, each posture, every time with a brand new mind, beginner's mind, okay? Breathe here. Exhale to let out all the air as we prepare to begin here. Exhale it out. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step left foot back, right foot back, hold plank, inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, shift forward, lower down, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhale, warrior two. And then cartwheel those arms. Send it back into a plank. Hold plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Inhale, shift the weight forward a few inches. Exhale, use your core to bring the legs up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Okay, Dancing Warrior, that was on the right side. We're gonna move over, face the opposite direction for the left side now. Again, let's take a round of breaths here in Tadasana so that we can let go what just happened. Try to let go of your expectations for what you want to happen on this next round and just be right here, standing in Tadasana. Take a deep breath. Exhale together, let all the air out as we prepare. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step right foot back. Step left foot back. Inhale and plank. Exhale, shift the weight forward, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Breathe here. Inhale here. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhale, warrior two. And then inhale in a warrior two, and on the exhale, cartwheel your arms down, step back into plank, hold your plank. Exhale, shift the weight forward, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, use the core to just take baby steps, walking your feet forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Seal that sequence. All right, that was round two of Dancing Warrior. I went a little faster than the first round. Now we're gonna go through a whole round, right side and left side, and I'm not gonna interrupt in between to have us stop, come back to Tadasana and turn to the other side of the mat. We're just gonna roll through everything one time. And I think it might be fun to do that if we turn and face our mats just straight on towards the computer. So let's just try that. I know that we don't normally set up this way. So facing the front, that way we're going to end up doing our warriors facing the side of the room on each side, but anytime we're square in Tadasana or doing a Chaturanga, we'll be facing one another. Okay, so find your Tadasana at the front of the mat. Do all of the check-ins that I've recommended before, that your weight is over your heels, wiggle the toes a bit, bring those shoulders up and roll them back. Feel your shoulder blades slide down your back. And as always, if you've noticed that this caused you to puff your belly out a bit, which causes an arch in the lower back, pull the belly in. Hands in Anjali Mudra. Let's take one deep breath. Inhale here. Exhale, empty everything out to prepare, including any expectations you have. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step left foot back, step right foot back. Hold plank. Inhale. Exhale, shift your weight forward 2 inches, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, hold warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your arms, step your foot back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, shift forward, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two on the left. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lengthen warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the arms. Send the leg back into plank. Hold plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here in down dog. Inhale and exhale. Now really make sure you're pressing your palms into the mat. Inhale, lift your hips high to the ceiling in down dog. Come up off the heels, high on the toes, and on an exhale, keep those hips lifted. Let the heels come down to the floor. Inhale, shift forward a few inches. And on an exhale, take baby steps high on your toes. That really turns on the core to bring your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down into Anjali Mudra. Okay, I'm so curious to know how that went. I think that is such a great sequence, and I hope you liked it as much as I do. It is time to cool it down. We're coming up against the hour. I did start about 5 minutes late due to some technical difficulties on YouTube. So I don't mind going over a few minutes. If you have somewhere you need to be, log off. I understand. You can catch the end later. And if you're joining this live stream at a later time, then I know you're probably not worried about it. So let's go down to the floor and just do a round of our practice in splits. And then we will lie down for Shavasana. Okay, so I'm grabbing my blocks for splits practice. I'm gonna put them down at the top of the mat, step the left leg back into a low lunge, using the blocks to keep me lifted here. And now drop that back left knee. Come on forward and really open up over the front right leg. I feel a great pinching in the crease of the hip. Hip hinge happens in our folds. It's that hip crease, and I feel the great pinch on the right side as the left is like the total opposite and opening up. Now, straighten that right leg, shoot the hips back, keeping hips square, shoot them back over the left. Right leg is straight. Again, blocks really help here to remain lifted. Keep those hips square, flex the toes, maybe bring them towards your face a bit. And then let's make it dynamic by shifting over the front leg, shift back over the back leg, straightening the front. Let's do it 2 more times. I'm just going by the pace of my breath. And now let's open up into full splits. So those were half splits. Let's open into lengthening that back leg, dropping the hip, and then walking the toes out on the front leg. Once I get to my heel, I wiggle it back and forth a bit. Hips square, chest lifted, and just breathe here. And try to laugh because I don't even know what else to do. This is not my favorite. I hope it will become my favorite once I get better at it. But it is so good for, as long as you're keeping hips square and you're not letting them pull open, it's gonna be really great for that hamstring flexibility and hip stabilizers. If you can activate the left glute, make sure your hips are stabilized by using that glute activation to keep them in place. As you come down on the right leg, you should feel that in the hamstrings. Okay, another round of breath. And let's switch to the other side. So bring that front leg in, bring the back leg in, and we'll just switch it up. So now left leg is in front. In a low lunge, in fact, set up your lunge if you want by lifting that back right leg to make sure your lunge is squared up here. Hips are square in the lunge. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes, and really come forward on that left leg. Now you feel the pinch at your hip crease on the left side and the opposite feeling of an opening on the right. Let's hold here for a breath. On the next exhale that you've got, exhale yourself straight back, hips square and back over that back bent right leg while the left leg straightens. Flex the toes, try to bring them towards your face. That'll really open up that left leg. Breathe here. Now let's make it dynamic. We inhale, come forward. Exhale, go back. 2 more times. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. And to get into the full splits here, drop that back knee, straighten the leg as best you can, and then walk the front left leg forward and straight. Use my blocks to keep me lifted. I cannot go down as far on this side. I'm going to engage my back, isolate and engage that back right glute to keep the hips stable and square. I've got 2 wet dogs on the other side of the door waiting to come in. Just take one more nice deep breath here. Smile, tell yourself you love this. You know it's good for you. And we'll come on out. Bring that front leg forward, back leg in. And let's go ahead and move right into our Shavasana. I'm going to turn my mat to the side again. Okay. All right, we've got really 2 minutes here. Come on down to your mat. Lie down on your back. I like to take the tissue from underneath my bottom here and make sure that I'm just really connecting and can feel that mat under me. If you'd like to engage muscles in your legs or curl up tight in a ball and really engage, squeeze everything together in one way or another to feel the intense, that really helps when you allow them to just open up and relax and feel yourself sink into the mat. Nice and heavy here. Be aware of that breath, rising and falling. Allow yourself to just take 2 minutes here to rest. Acknowledge the work you just did. That was a really challenging sequence. You might feel it in the legs tomorrow. Just breathe here. it is time to come back to me. So just blink open the eyes, find some movement again in those legs, arms, even just in the fingers and toes. And as you're ready, bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Just take a moment here. Remember when we started this morning, standing at the top of our mats, and just took an inventory of how things felt this morning, what was tight and tense. Maybe stop and take a moment again and inventory any changes you notice. And just give yourself an acknowledgement of gratitude. You made it to your mat this morning, or maybe it's not morning for you if you're joining in later, but you made it to your mat for this hour of practice. That's great. It is so great to have you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for allowing me to teach and practice my teaching on you. And if it is still Friday for you when you are joining in, happy Friday. Enjoy the weekend coming up. I hope your weekends look a little different than your weekdays in this time that we are all sheltering in place here. So just enjoy. Happy May 15th. Thanks once more for allowing me to teach you. Namaste.